campus at Coosa Christian High School. We just got a new sponsor for baseball this season, the Gun Shop in Gadsden, Alabama. You guys will see their information on the screen here very shortly. But at this time, I'm going to let this gentleman introduce himself, and we will get started.
I'm Coach Spencer Orange. I've been here as an assistant for 8 years.
With the Conquerors for 8 years?
Yes, sir, with the Conquerors for 8 years.
That's good. Coach, what led you here to Coosa Christian 8 years ago?
Well, actually, I went to school here for 4 years throughout high school, 9th grade, graduated here, and actually played for our head coach, Coach Boyd. And I really just loved the game. I worked really hard when I played, and I just fell in love with it. And I wanted to give back to these guys, and so I started coaching, and just been coaching ever since.
You know, you mentioned Coach Boyd, and we got to sit down with him twice last year and get to know him really well. Talk about Coach Boyd and what it's meant since he's been here this time around here to this program. And I know last year, you talk about youth. I mean, you can't get no younger than what y'all were last year. Y'all are going and battling 18-year-old men with 13-year-old guys.
Yeah.
Talk about Coach Boyd and what it's been like since he's been here this time around.
Yeah, Coach Boyd, he's a very godly man. Before anything, he wants to teach the Bible. He wants to teach God's Word. And he has a standard that he sets by, and he wants this team to be. Our goal is championships, right? Everybody's goal should be championships. And we're young, but we don't let age affect us. We go out there, and it don't matter if you're 17 or you're 15, 14, 13, the ball's still got to go over the plate, and that's what we teach. We teach to, no matter how tall, short, size, you still got to throw that ball over the plate, and it's still got to be hit. You got to catch and throw, and anybody can catch and throw.
That's right. Now, talk about this team in particular, because last year I seen growth as the year went on. I mean, it's a tough year, but the guys got better. And this year, expectations has obviously changed. But what is it about this group coming up that we should expect?
Yeah, we have a great, I think, a core group of guys. Guys that have played. We've got freshmen that played two years leading up to this in varsity play.
It's incredible.
So it's they're seasoned. I mean, how many times you get to walk on the field and you got freshmen that you can say they're seasoned, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we have. We have a great nucleus of a lot of freshmen and sophomores, and we have a couple of juniors. And like I said, we expect to win. You should never walk out on the field and not expect to win. So I think that if we just continue to get these guys to buy in, and I think they all have, I mean, the sky's the limit, honestly, with our team.
Oh, man, I was looking at your lineup. I mean, it's youth.
Yeah,
everywhere.
it's youth, but it's also experience.
That's right.
And that's a great thing to have is experience. Definitely when you get to area play's coming up, and our goal is to win area. We want to make the playoffs. We want to set a statement this year, and I think playoffs, and we'd love to go deep.
Now let me ask you a question. Who are some of the guys pitching wise we should look for this year? And I know you guys got a couple of guys that have some experience. You don't have a 4 or 5 year starter out there.
Right. No,
talk about your rotation and who we should look for this year.
I mean, of course, we have John David Justice. He's a crafty left-hander. Thomas Skaggs, our right-hander, he's a junior. And we've got Brandon Hammonds, who's a freshman. We got Dylan Edwards, a freshman. Cleto Bryant, freshman. These guys they're all very mature for their age, right? They've pitched a lot of games. Dylan is coming up. He hadn't pitched as much, but John David threw as a 7th grader on varsity, started. So he's got a lot of experience. And we have a lot of guys that can throw, pitch, Carter Moore, Ben Wright. But I think John David, Brandon, Thomas, anytime those guys are out there, Cleat, if they're on the mound, we know we have a shot to win.
That's right. And then flip it back on the other side with the bats. Who are we looking for this year? Some guys you got to, step up and get it done at the plate.
Yeah, it's Thomas Skaggs, our junior. He's been really good with the bat this year. John David also. Blaine West. Blaine has come up in big spots, and he's really achieved great things at the plate this year. Brandon Hammonds also he's coming on later, closer to where we're getting to area, which is good. So, I mean, we don't have many holes in our lineup, and some days we don't have any holes, right? And that's what you're looking for.
Hammond's cutting his mullet's kind of disappointing to me. He should have kept that.
Yeah, I tell you what, we want these guys to be able to have character,
right, no doubt.
And be themselves. Because if you're not having fun on the baseball field, it can get really just boring. Really, it's stagnant, boring, and so we want these guys to have a little personality. And if a mullet's personality, that's personality, right?
Who is that guy in that locker room or in the dugout that keeps everybody loose, the class clown, so to speak, for you guys?
Class clown is probably, I'd say, Cleto Bryant.
Yeah.
He, Clete, he loves to joke around.
Oh, yeah.
He'll be serious, but he's not afraid to throw a joke in there too. We got a couple of those guys, Clete, Drake Alberry. He'll joke around. So it's fun to have those guys because you need those. You need a good balance in that.
100%.
You need your serious all the time, and your guys that'll joke around with you. Just keep things light.
What I like about Clete is like the day when he struck out, he went nuclear. It just really bothered him. You can tell it hurts him, but as you said, man, he's also that guy.
But then, if something like that happens, then you've got your guys that'll go in there and pick them up and say, "Hey, man, don't worry about it. You got to go catch the ball in right field, left field, center field, wherever he's playing at the time, or go onto the mound and throw strikes." So.
That's exactly right. Now, defensively out in the field, who are some of the guys that got some real nice gloves that we should look for?
We got Keith Johnson behind the plate. He's really stepped up in his second year catching for us. He's
Can you tell him and his brother apart?
If they're behind the plate, one's at third. other than that, that's about it, right?
Two more freshmen, though, right?
Sophomores.
They're sophomores.
Sophomores.
Okay.
But Keith's really stepped up big this year behind the plate. Brian Johnson plays third base for us. Some days we have John David. Some days Thomas over at first base. And our center fielder is Dylan Edwards, and he can absolutely he can fly. Absolutely, he can fly. Clete does a great job in right or left, whichever where we have him. Mm-hmm. We have an array of people play short, second, and right field. Just depending on who's on the mound is who plays where.
No doubt. Kind of plug and play where
That's right.
need where.
It's 1A
That's
baseball.
good to have versatile, though, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we have. I would. There's not many guys that can only play one position. I don't think we have any guy that can just play one position, which is good because you never know. In 1A baseball, you don't have a lot of depth, right?
That's right.
So you do need guys to go and play anywhere at any time on any given day.
That's right. Now, let me ask you a question. You guys don't have a senior on the team, do you?
No seniors. No, sir.
And last year you only had one.
One. That's
right.
That's
incredible.
Yeah, we've.
How you even maintain a program?
Yeah, it's
incredible. But actually, a competitive program.
Yeah, I think it's a lot to do with the weight room, a lot to do with how Coach Boyd structures his program. It's just the next man up. Like I said earlier, it doesn't matter. We don't really care what grade you're in, how old you are, how big you are. If, you got to go over and hit the baseball and field it just like everybody else does.
Who all do you have on your staff now?
We have Coach Boyd is our head coach. Coach Jackson Justice is in his second year as an assistant. Then we have Coach Joshua Carpenter, who is in as a pitching coach.
That's good.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. You guys. Just in a short period of time, it's made some major changes. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know of a younger baseball team anywhere for the last 2 years. You think, next year they're going to be. You still got freshmen everywhere.
Right. Yes,
and
sir.
those guys were 7th and 8th grade battling.
Sir.
And now, like the Johnsons are sophomores, and they're
sophomores.
They're like old fogies.
That's right. That's right. They're like old souls.
So Thomas is a junior.
Thomas is a junior.
Who else? You got the juniors.
We have Drake Alberry. That's a junior.
Drake Alberry.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So 2 juniors, an array of sophomores, an array of freshmen, and then we have a couple 8th graders.
That's incredible. Man.
Yes, sir.
With that though, how much does y'all's blood pressure go up and down during the game?
It's stressful.
Yeah.
We know what we got, and we know they're capable of doing it. It's just getting these young guys to do it, to buy in,
right.
and focus. It's like I said earlier, baseball can be a boring game, and when you're sitting out there in right field and you haven't got a ball hit to you in 3 innings. Now all of a sudden this guy gets a hold of one. You've got to be ready to go.
You got to be ready.
And so I think they are getting better at being ready to go at all times.
That's right. The thing about youth, though, in any sport, if it ever gets clicking and rolling, they don't know they're not supposed to.
That's right. Yeah, that's absolutely right. if you have the confidence in yourself, it doesn't matter
right.
how old you are.
And sometimes they don't know that they're not supposed to be.
That's right. They don't. Yeah, absolutely. They don't know that they're not supposed to win area or make a deep run into the playoffs. All they know is how to win ball games.
That's exactly right. That's right. Well, man, I know you guys are about to start practice today, correct?
Yes, sir.
I don't want to hold you guys up, but I appreciate you sitting in with us. And
Yes, sir.
we're going to be doing more of these interviews coming up for the gun shop in Gadsden, and we're going to bring Matt Sims on to do a gun safety video with us again. And I appreciate you guys watching, and good luck, Coach.
I appreciate it.